They are Ken Rieder and Jon Thocker, known to the air show industry as Redline Airshows. Now let's watch as the noses come up on these RB-8 home-built aircraft. Simultaneous hammerhead stall turnarounds. The lead pilot is Ken Rieder. He's headed out to the right. On the left is Jon Thocker. Ken is a multi-engine flight instructor in land and seaplanes and also an aerobatic instructor. And at a very young age, Ken was inspired to pursue aviation when he saw the U.S. Navy Blue Angels. Jon Thocker crossing now to the right. Retired from a 25-year airline career as a captain and engineering test pilot on a Douglas DC-8, operating heavy cargo flights around the world for DHL Air Cargo. Let's watch them as they get turned around and close at a speed in excess of 360-mile-an-hour closure. Completing the opposing loops, they pull heavy G's as they head out toward the backstretch to set up for a formation loop. It is leader Ken Rieder's job to choose the right altitude, the right airspeed, and the right attitude to get through each maneuver safely, not only for himself, but also for Jon Thocker, who will tuck himself in very close on the wing. Jon Thocker will be visually married, if you will, to a spot on Ken's airplane. He doesn't know where the ground is. He doesn't know where the sky is. He just knows where the leader is, and he is following the leader. More than 8,000 hours of flight time, having flown with commercial airlines, and he currently flies as a captain on a King Air for Miami University of Ohio. And Jon has enjoyed the opportunities to fly historical military aircraft, and in addition to his airshow flying, his company, Redline, provides aircraft modifications and upgrades to experimental aircraft, specializing in state-of-the-art electronic instrumentation and builder assistance. An avid builder, Jon has built 8 custom airplanes. Now, in the line abreast loop, where Jon Thocker has to look literally 90 degrees to his right to stay in position with Ken. The noses come up once again, quickly bleeding off their airspeed. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and there's the hammerhead stall turnaround. Redline is brought to you by Hartzell Propeller. The team uses the advanced structural composite propeller. They also want to thank JB Aircraft Engine Service in Sebring, Florida, supplier of the Redline engine. Also Tempest for the engine accessories, Hartzell Engine Technology for the plane power alternators, and Oregon Aero for the seats, and Avstar fuel systems for their fuel injections. Now let's watch as they get upside down and do the flip and the flop. How about a nice round of applause for Redline? Now watch, it gets fun as they roll the airplanes upright, and Jon Thocker gets to chase the smoke. Sometimes folks call this the squirrel cage portion of the show. Another quick hammerhead stall turn. First Ken, and way up above, Jon gets it to zero, kicks hard left rudder, turns it on a dime and gives you 9 cents change. With multiple aileron rolls from Ken Rieder and a 4-point hesitation roll for Jon Thocker, let's watch this rejoin as Ken in the lead turns wide and Jon turns tight in order to put himself right back in formation with Ken Rieder. Using a lot of geometry. For those of you who are interested in science, technology, engineering, and math, you saw some of it right there. This is the mirror pass. Ken and Jon are now setting up for a maneuver that will look elegant, it will look graceful, you will not know how difficult it is to do. For one aircraft to do what is known as a barrel roll, certain things have to happen if it's done correctly. Starting and stopping at the same altitude, airspeed, and heading, they maintain 1G all the way around, using the elevator, the ailerons, the throttle, and the rudder to maintain 1G. And Jon Thocker then has to follow the leader all the way around. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Redline barrel roll. Between them, these guys have actually built more than a dozen of these and similar aircraft. They both reside in the Cincinnati area. They keep their planes at the Butler County Hogan Field Regional Airport in Hamilton, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. They've been flying formation together for more than 10 years. Cameras on, folks. Watch them as they loop. They're going to do a quarter roll and watch them as they get ready to do their switchblade break. Let's listen in. Oh yeah, how about that? Within feet of one another. Both of these guys were flying as airline pilots when Jon recruited Ken to fly with him at DHL Air Cargo. And in the interview, when Jon was asked about Ken's flying experience and if they ever had flown together, Jon's response was, yes, but the truth was they had never been in the same airplane together. They were flying formation together in their individual aircraft. Check them out on Facebook at Redline Airshows. Over the top, 5/8 of a loop. The aircraft now roll. One of them rolls upright, and that's Jon Thocker. And Ken continues the loop all the way through. And Jon has to put the pedal to the metal once again to catch up with Ken Rieder in the lead aircraft. The last pass coming up. It'll be a photo pass of Redline in their RV-8, the most widely sold, home-built kit-type aircraft in the history of aviation. Richard Van Grunsven is the designer, and the builders, Jon and Ken, build them themselves, flew them themselves, and they do fly great. From the left, the photo pass of Redline. Here very shortly. Our air boss George Klein continuing to do an excellent job of keeping the airplanes apart and the show together, moving a whole lot of aircraft, some of which are headed home shortly. We got a bunch of them lined up on the left, who will be taking off here shortly, and as they do, we'll be moving on in a few moments to welcome two P-51 Mustangs flown by Andrew McKenna and Jim Beasley. We are so very happy to thank your local Ford dealers, proudly saluting AirPower Over Hampton Roads. Also thanks to the City of Hampton, Langley Civic Leaders Association, Langley Federal Credit Union, and USAA. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to turn the microphone over to the next narrator for the program with the F-35 and the Heritage Flight Team, Ed DeLeon. Ed, it's all yours, my friend.
Thanks, buddy. Good morning, or good afternoon, rather, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. On behalf of your United States Air Force and the Commander of Air Education and Training Command, Lieutenant General Darrell Robertson, we welcome you once again to Joint Base Langley-Eustis. I'm F-35 Heritage Team Superintendent and Air Force Master Sergeant Ed DeLeon from San Antonio, Texas. Here with our safety observer and F-35 instructor pilot, Captain Luke Outwater, call sign Clock. Clock is a combat veteran fighter pilot with more than 1,000 hours in fighter aircraft. Clock is from Plymouth, Minnesota. Together we're stationed at the 56th Fighter Wing, located at Luke Air Force Base in Glendale, Arizona. Before the Raptor team takes their stage, we'd like to take a moment to discuss the F-35. In 2015, the Air Force announced the F-35A Lightning II